Welcome to the 10-Minute Treasurer. My name's Jeff Pospisil, and I'm recording this in April of 2023, and the tax deadline's coming up. And so the question I get every now and then is, what do I do with my kids' income? Do I have to file taxes? Do I include their income with my income? What do I do with that? So that's what I'm going to look into today, and we'll see what we get for an answer. Our first hint is when we look at the actual tax form. So I pull up a 1040 here, and when you look at the filing statuses, whenever you file taxes, you have to choose a status, and it's right up there at the top, and you're either single, married, or head of household. So single, married, or head of household, and head of household is basically single with dependents. I like how in the IRS's eyes, you're either single. And there is a legal answer, and I'm going to go ahead and point you to the IRS publication. I think it's 501, if I remember correctly, and that's going to give you a more detailed answer. But here's the short version of it. If they're employed, they got a job, and they're making less than, for the year, $12,950. So if they get a W-2 or maybe multiple W-2s and they add up to less than $12,950, then you don't have to file taxes for the most part. The other one is if it's self-employed income. So maybe they mow lawns, or maybe they, I don't know, babysit or something like that, if they make less than $400. So again, if they're self-employed, they're going to have to start filing taxes at a much lower level than if they are employed. And then the last one is if they have unearned income, so interest, dividends, that kind of. So here's the cool thing. A lot of people, they might own their own business. They might run their own sole proprietorship. So if that's your case, and you have kids that are under 18 years old and they do legitimate work for your business, you should pay them. You should definitely pay them because it's not going to be taxable up to the first $12,000. And not only that, you don't have to pay Social Security or Medicare or payroll taxes or anything like that on that. So it's completely tax-free, at least up to that first $12,000. So that's a really cool thing. I'm going to link to an article that'll give you better guidance on this, or more complete guidance on this. But I'm just going to walk you a little bit through what the tax impact is. So let's just say you have a lawn mowing and snow removal business, and your business brings in $80,000 net. So $80,000 net of expenses. And I just plugged it into a calculator. The calculator was through TaxAct, and it said I would pay roughly $13,500 in taxes. And the reason that's so high is because you're paying self-employment taxes because you're a sole proprietorship. So 15.3% of that $80,000 is self-employment taxes. And then the remaining amount is going to be federal income tax. Now, let's say, again, that was a situation where you didn't pay your kid, but now let's say you do pay your kid. And because you pay your kid, you don't feel guilty now about not buying gas for them, or you having them cover their own car insurance, or not buying as much clothes for them. They can handle that because they have an income from you. So you pay your kid $12,000, the maximum, to be tax-free. You can pay them more than that, and there's still tax benefits. But now all of a sudden your net income drops from $80,000 to $68,000 because you could write it off because you're paying them for a legitimate business expense. And your tax. So back to the question about what should I file taxes for my kids? And one of the things I would just say is just do it. Just file the taxes. For the most part, it's free. I just filed for my two kids. One of them made about $10,000. The other one made about $5,000. And it was absolutely free. I went through TaxAct. I better link to TaxAct because I've just mentioned them now a number of times. So do it. It's usually free. They're going to need to know how to do it anyway, so you might as well walk them through it. They don't need to be intimidated by their taxes. They should be able to look through their W-2 and know how to enter it into a computer, because guess what? In a very short amount of time, they're going to have to do that on their own anyway. They might get a refund. So one of my kids had a $20 refund, and I would rather they get that $20 rather than have Uncle Sam have that $20. So it's not a huge refund, but it's $20 extra that they're not going to get from me, they're going to get from Uncle Sam. And it's actually their own money anyway. The other thing is, and this, especially if they're self-employed, that's a good reason to file taxes too, is it gets you started with the Social Security Administration. And part of this is you need enough credits if you're going to go on disability. I think you need 40 credits, which is basically 10 years of working service. Also, I know I think they pick most of this off of your W-2, but I just would want to be sure that it's being recorded. So again, if something bad happens and they're disabled in the future, it'll help them meet that credit requirement for disability. Also, they need 35 years of work history as well for Social Security currently. I don't know what it'll be like when they get that age, but either way, it's just helping you build that. And if you don't have 35 years, so let's say you're just out of the workforce for a period of time, those years under 35, those count as 0 towards that average. So it's just, again, trying to get you the most benefit for that money that they're going to be paying into the Social Security Administration. All right, that was short and hopefully sweet for you. So don't include your kids' income in with your own. And I do encourage you to file. And if you have your own business, put your kids to work. So, all right, until next time, God bless.